Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. Now today I want to talk about one of the main men who put the B in R&B. And for those of you who are alphabetically challenged as I am, the blues stands for B, or is it the B stands for blues? Now, Little Milton really was a bluesy R&B guitar player and singer, and he was one of these artists that even though he was not necessarily as much of a household name as he could have been, and as others in that same genre at a similar time were, he was so good. He produced music that I think is impossible to dislike. And that is one of the things that's beautiful about soul and R&B music, because of its connection to gospel music, a liturgical music, but one that emphasizes the joy of worship. That element of the musicality, the intonation, the style, the vibe, these intangibles on top of things like chordal harmony and intonation. It makes soul and R&B music that is easy. It's easy to see why it's universally loved. And Little Milton had one of these voices that was really, really universally lovable. And he was prolific. He had loads of singles and loads of albums from the 60s all the way up until his death in the early 2000s. Now, if I had to pick one album that I think you should start with, if you're not necessarily if you're not necessarily familiar with his music, I would start with one from 1970, and it's called If Walls Could Talk. It's just one of his perfect albums, and it has my favorite Little Milton song. It was written by Jimmy Holiday, and it's called Baby I Love You. It's just one of those perfect songs, the way it rises and falls, the way that there's this overall building. It's just a perfect R&B song, and Little Milton just delivers it as no one could. It's been sampled in hip hop music in the 90s and beyond, and it's one of these songs where you go, I think I've heard this before, even if you're not necessarily someone who's overly familiar with Little Milton's music. So definitely check out that album, listen to that song in particular. He was someone who did a lot of recordings for Stax, so he was definitely on that side of the R&B spectrum, which is in many ways my favorite R&B style of the 60s and early 70s. So check him out. I do not think you'll be disappointed. He just had one of those amazing, amazing voices. And he's one of these people who could sing the phone book and bring it to life. As always, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.